Hey there, my name is Przemek, and this is something different than usual because this is a list of my favorite video games soundtracks, uh, top 10 to be more precise. At first, I wanted to do a one long video presenting all 10 soundtracks, but in the end, I decided to split it into two parts because otherwise the video would be too long, and I know many of you don't really like long videos. So yeah, today one honorable mention plus the places 10 to 6. But first, a little introduction. I've been playing video games since I was 6 or 7 years old. I think I began in the second half of the 80s, still in communist Poland. But back then I got my first computer, Atari 800 XL. First with a tape deck, which was loading games, normally with normal speed from cassettes that sometimes took 20 to 30 minutes, and you were never sure if the game would load. You had to be very quiet and still in your room when the game was loading. Later I got kind of a turbo cartridge, which significantly sped up the game loading, and that also meant that more games would fit on the cassette. But I never had a disk drive for my Atari. Still, I have a great memories of that time, and even today I sometimes play Boulder Dash or River Ride on an emulator, and I played for a while still with a great pleasure. But after that I had a Amiga 500. First the kind of base edition, which I later expanded to 1 RAM megabyte. I had Amiga for a very short but intense time. I had it, I think, for about 2 years maybe, or 3, until my Amiga broke down. I wanted to fix it, but my dad said that there's no point, because now he was going to buy a PC anyway, and I wasn't entirely sure if it's a good option, but because at the time Amiga games still looked better than PC games. But on the other hand, I somehow felt deep in my mind that the future of gaming lies in PC anyway. And although I was very sad to say goodbye to Amiga, I switched to this PC and stayed with it for years. Besides this sadness after Amiga disappeared almost immediately, or to be precise, when I launched Doom 2 Hell on Earth, the first game I had on PC. ID Software's production simply blew my mind, and I understood that this was it. This is the future. I don't want to go back to Amiga anymore. And I played on the PC for the next, I don't know, 25 years. Sometimes more intensively, sometimes less. For example, I almost gave up entirely the years 2002 to 2010, or maybe 2012 even. I had slightly different interests at that time, and because of that, up to this day, I've never played such games like Deus Ex, or first games from Assassin's Creed series, or Max Payne 1 or 2. Maybe I'll come back to them someday, who knows. But 4 years I was a PC master race, and I didn't even think about buying a console. Sure, I know about such games like Uncharted or The Last of Us. And I knew they were good, but I didn't feel that I need to play them right away. I had to wait for them and play for them when when they will out on PC someday in the future. Uh, but that changed in I think 2018 and the premiere of Red Dead Redemption 2 when I saw the trailers of that game, and I knew that it will be out only on consoles, released on consoles. I decided back then, yes, this is the time. I have to uh, buy a console. So I bought a PlayStation 4, and in general I quit playing on PC almost 100%. Well, maybe 80% because I still played on PC strategies or isometric RPGs or Football Manager, which I am addicted to. But today I can't imagine playing any other way than on a console in the all other games like adventures, action adventures, immersive scenes, etc., etc. I played a bit the new Stalker or Indiana Jones on PC, but I couldn't got used to it again, even with the controller connected. Anyway, today I'm still on PlayStation 4 because I still have a lot of games to complete on this platform, and but in the near future I intend to buy a PlayStation 5 Pro, and I think the adventure will continue. I wondered if I should tell some gaming memories and stories in this video, but on the other hand, I decided that this video would be like 3 hours long, and besides, who would really be interested in that? We all have such stories anyway, so it wouldn't be anything special, I think. But instead, I wanted to talk about my favorite game soundtracks. This will be, like I said, top 10 with 2 honorable mentions. Not two, one honorable mention. And remember, I am an ambient fan, so there will be purely ambient soundtracks here, which for many is nothing more than just unnoticeable background, but you know how it is. Ambient music is, very precious to my heart. Also, there will be no Japanese games here. Controversially for many, there won't be even a Silent Hill soundtrack on this list, because I know Akira Yamaoka's soundtrack is great, but I got to know it years later and separately from the game, so I don't treat it as a soundtrack for the game, but just as a regular music, because I haven't played any Silent Hills on consoles. I tried those first ones, I think Silent Hill 1 and 2 on emulators, but it didn't go well, so it is not a game series that I have any particular sentiment for. On this list there will be games that I have played, which I have in most cases finished, and with the soundtracks I still come back with a great pleasure. Yeah, I'll begin with the honorable mention, like I said, kind of historical honorable mention, a game from Amiga. Of course, I know and appreciate 8-bit wizards like Tim Follin or David Whittaker, who are able to really squeeze a lot out of limited capabilities of ZX Spectrum or Commodore C64. Besides, they also created some cool stuff for 16-bit machines, but let's begin with Lost Patrol, a game released by Ocean Software in 1990. It was a very peculiar mix of strategy, a simple RPG with some action sequences. The game takes place during the Vietnam War, when after a helicopter crash, a unit, if I'm not mistaken, of 7 American soldiers must find their way to the base through a hostile jungle filled with Viet Cong troops. We moved around the map towards the base. We had to take care of supplies and morale, and every now and then we would come across the enemy, sometimes a sniper, sometimes Viet Cong unit, then a regular shootout would break out. Sometimes a single soldier, then the game turns into a simple fighting game or one-on-one beat 'em up game. And sometimes we'd come across a village where we could act friendly, or on the contrary, switch into full melee mode and raze it to the ground and kill all the civilians. I finished the game twice, once with 1 soldier and once with 2, and one of them was basically dying in my arms. And honestly, it was with Lost Patrol when I felt for the first time that the game could be more than just a simple entertainment, that it can have depth, touch on serious topics, and raise moral dilemmas. Each soldier had his own name and face, and losing each one of them simply hurts. And the rather dark atmosphere and gloomy atmosphere of Lost Patrol was brilliantly intensified by the music by Chris Glaister and Jonathan Dunn. Sure, it was only one looped 5-minute piece, and that's why it's just a mention on this list, because it's not a full-length soundtrack, not just one short theme, with maybe 1 or 2 or 3 additional short fragments, 50 seconds, 1 minute, like when of our soldier dies. I still remember in my head that short theme. But it was moving. It fits the game perfectly, and at least to me, it was never irritating. It was 5 minutes loop on and on and on, but it was never irritating. It was kind of a digital bass theme with drums and evocative synth melody. Nothing very complex, but it did the job really well. I felt like I was playing something that was not worse than, for example, Oliver Stone's Platoon. I know that there was a game Platoon also, and it was also, if I remember correctly, released by Ocean Software. But I'm talking about the film Platoon. The Lost Patrol was as adult like Oliver Stone's Platoon, and I will remember this music forever, and probably not only me, because when you look on YouTube, you'll find a lot of covers of this theme, Lost Patrol. It's a honorable mention. but now number 10, and it's Amiga again, and the game Dreamweb. It was released by Empire Interactive in 1994, with the music by Matt Seldon and Steve Boynton. This was an adventure game, and I played it back in the day, but I think I never finished it. I don't remember why. Knowing me, I probably started playing something else, and in the meantime, and never really returned to Dreamweb. I don't remember the plot either, so I'll have to help myself with the description from IMDb. Dystopian point-and-click cyberpunk adventure about a troubled bartender chosen by mystical keepers of the Dreamweb, a secret plane of spiritual reality that determines our own, to stop 7 evil chosen ones who will destroy the world. I remember this game for its gloomy and eerie atmosphere, and the fact that it was a point-and-click game where you can pick up almost any item on a given location, regardless of whether you needed to perform any action or not. But today, looking back, this game is a true child of the 90s for me. I mean, the atmosphere similar to the TV series like Chris Carter's Millennium, or even some episodes of X-Files, and the music strengthens me in this feeling. It's so very 80s, bringing to mind those dark, straight to VHS thrillers and those TV series I mentioned. And when I listen to it today, I instantly become a little brat again, and play on Amiga again, and wait for the next episode for Nowhere Man. I wonder if you remember that series, Nowhere Man, with Bruce Greenwood in the main role. And also I remember those titles of some of the themes, like Bloodstained Santa, my favorite theme up to this day, or like Killing Hitler. Yeah, Dreamweb. It's a very cool Amiga soundtrack from 1994, number 10. Now number 9, No Man's Sky by Hello Games, and the music was composed by 65 Days of Static. It's a game from 2016, but it's still being developed. New patches are still being released. I don't know how it looked at the very beginning in 2016 from the first hand, to be honest, but I read that it had a lot of bugs and was hard to play really with pleasure, but now it's much better, and today I can confirm that. I didn't finish it. I'm not sure if it's even possible to complete, but I spent many hours on No Man's Sky, and it's always a great time. Even today, I turn it on for a moment just to walk around on those procedurally generated planets, and to discover some of their secrets, because it's a game about space exploration. At first, you wake up in a damaged spaceship, without remembering anything. You have to collect resources, craft some spare parts and fuel in order to repair your spaceship, build a base, and solve the mystery of what happened to you. This game had a cool graphic design that's reminding of, I don't know, space psychedelic covers of sci-fi books from the 60s or 70s, as well as covers of psychedelic prog rock bands like Asia, for example. And the music composed by this British band 65 Days of Static is mainly ambient textures, sometimes interspersed with more motoric post-rock pieces. But what captivates me most in this music is its otherworldliness. It emphasizes so well the feeling of loneliness and in a completely alien world, and the world that no human has ever set foot on, that I can't imagine any other soundtrack for this game. I'll even say more. The vast majority of ambient projects that want to achieve such an effect by definition can't come close to 65 Days of Static. Combined with the game, it's a simply unearthly experience. I know that there's a virtual reality No Man's Sky mode, and I have to check it out sometime, because it must be really, really amazing. Number 9, No Man's Sky. And now number 8, Disco Elysium, Zan Studios, I think, Zan Records, I don't remember. Zan, it's Estonian studio, and the soundtrack was created by a band British Sea Power. Disco Elysium is probably the most ambitious game I have ever played. Sure, at first glance, it's a detective adventure about a cop with amnesia. Yes, it's a very convenient gimmick for many game creators, although this time this amnesia is caused by heavy drinking the other night, and this detective has to solve the mystery of a certain murder. But the game actually touches on many topics, political, philosophical, existential even, lost love, longing for times gone by, cryptozoology. It has a great, fascinating world with its history, its politics, etc. It's all here, really. The game is also kind of adventure, kind of RPG, except that the character the development is really unique in this game. I won't go into details here right now, there's no time for it, but trust me, and really check out this game, because out of all the games discussed here today, I think Disco Elysium is my favorite. I remember that at first the game came out without voice acting, but after a few months the creators added this element, and the game became even even better, really, because the voices were chosen perfectly. And when the Polish version came out, it was really great for me, because Disco Elysium is one of those games I wouldn't be able to complete in English. Firstly, because the amount of text. I think I read somewhere that the game contains over a million words, and secondly, because of the language used, which sometimes is very sophisticated. And like I said, the music was created by a post-indie rock British Sea Power. And again, it is an ambient post-rock, melancholic, without really darkness and aggression, ethereal somewhere. Sometimes some people describe such sounds that way. A soundtrack of the end of the world, but without fear, but rather with reconciliation, with fate. It's a sad music, but also warm in a strange way. But why only 8th placed on the list? Because it works perfectly in the game, really. But apart from the game, not as well. And the other games on this list that will be higher on this list just work better, separately from the game. Because in the long run, Disco Elysium soundtrack without the game context may seem a little bit too monotonous, but not in a good dark ambient way, and sometimes too sentimental. But I put it on this list because with the game as a whole thing, whole unit, it's perfect. But I also mention my favorite musical theme, or rather 3 themes from the game, which I listen also apart from the game very often. It's a Whirling in Rags, 8 a.m., 8 p.m. and 12 p.m. Whirling in Rags is a pub that is kind of a center of events, especially in the first part of Disco Elysium. And basically these 3 tracks are a kind of a variation on one theme, only each of them refers to the mentioned time of the day. 8 a.m. is a calm pop, the beginning of the day, everything wakes up, comes to life. 8 p.m. is a party, the pub is crowded, and this track is a bit funky, a bit Motown style even, but still with a melancholic undernote. And 12 p.m., everyone fell asleep or went home. The bartender will be closing the bar soon, and musically is a dreamy ambient, a bit reflecting the moment when you start to sober up. I like to play these 3 tracks exactly at these hours of the day and night, and they are really, really great. There's this guy on YouTube, Miracle of Sound, who makes songs inspired by video games. I don't like all of them. In fact, most of them don't appeal to me. But this Disco Elysium inspired track, Liquid Nights and Disco Lights, is fantastic. Built on a rhythmic bass of Whirling in Rags, he managed to create one of the saddest, funky songs I've ever heard. And with the great lyrics, which sum up the idea of the whole game in a nutshell. Listen also to this track by Miracle of Sound, because it's really worth it. It was number 8, Disco Elysium. And now number 7. Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl. GSC Game World was the studio behind the game, and the soundtrack was created by Vladimir Frey, also known as Moose. Stalker is a Ukrainian game, a bit first-person shooter, a bit RPG, loosely related to the Strugatsky brothers' roadside picnic, and of course referring to the Chernobyl disaster. We play as Stalker, who, of course, wakes up with amnesia. How else? And he has only a palm top. This palm top had a name in the game, and MBA, and I don't remember. But on this palm top he has only one message: kill Strielog. And his and our, of course, mission is to find Strielog and at the same time solve the mystery of the zone. This game has messed up mechanics. even back then it was difficult to play at times because it was in general terribly clunky. I mean, the gameplay was, but this is one of those cases when the story and atmosphere itself makes me forget about these flows. Okay, maybe I didn't forget. I didn't forget about them, but they become kind of bearable, and I didn't think about them so much. Just wanting to move on. The world here is gloomy and ugly, and at the same time very familiar to an Eastern European. You know, those buildings, vehicles, and we know all this. You know? And in all this ugliness there is a certain beauty and almost metaphysics. There is something incredibly appealing here, even despite the fact that during one mission while playing it, I remember I told to my girlfriend that I felt like I was in the cesspool of the world. And the music is also beautiful. Apart from some louder industrial moments, it is kind of dark, isolationist ambient, not intrusive but wonderfully emphasizing the atmosphere. I think most players don't even notice it, but the anxiety, and because precisely it drills into the brain in an almost subconscious way. It's not the case of No Country for Old Men, when a lot of film critics were excited. You know, what an atmosphere the Coen brothers created, and without using music, you know. Well, there was music, of course, in that film. Not much. Often very unnoticeable because there were mostly minimal drones, but the music was there. In Stalker, you hear this music all the time. I'm talking only about the Shadow of Chernobyl because I haven't played the sequels. And Clear Sky, and I don't remember the sequel, the third sequel. But this music accompanies us the whole time. It is you hear it all the time, and it's an inseparable element of this entire extraordinary construction. And an ambient fan can enjoy it also without the game, because it also works great as a separate entity. I played this main sequel, this new sequel recently, Stalker 2, from last year, and it also has an excellent soundtrack, but I didn't play it very long. You know, it's too short to put it on this list. You know, but it has a potential to appear on this list one day. Who knows? Number 7, Stalker. And now number 6, Limbo, a game created by Playdead Studio and the soundtrack by Martin Stig Andersen. This game, right from the very beginning, draws you in its eerie, monochromatic world. You wake up as a little boy in a forest clearing, and set off in a journey. As it turns out later, in search of your sister. And this world you find yourself in is not our world. It is something reminiscent of hell, or maybe rather purgatory, a moment of suspension between life and death. Well, limbo. It is a bit of platformer, a bit of puzzle game, but above all, it's an incredibly depressing atmosphere. Sure, full of monsters, strange machines, and insane children, but above all, it's a depressing atmosphere of sadness, hopelessness, and overwhelming solitude. And this extraordinary, very original graphic design is perfectly complemented by Martin Stig Andersen's soundtrack. Isolationist ambient, again based often on field recordings, at times extremely dark, sometimes stunningly beautiful, and this music could easily be released as a full album by, for example, Cryo Chamber, and it would become a shiny diamond in this label's portfolio. I often listen to it because in all its darkness it can be strangely soothing, a bit reminiscent of that hackneyed phrase, "You'll sleep when you're dead." Wonderful game, wonderful music. Number 6, Limbo. Okay, that was the first part of this top 10, my favorite soundtracks, video game soundtracks list. The second part, places 5 to 1, will be posted, I don't know, in a week maybe, or maybe in 2 weeks. We'll see. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.